expanded yet again, and I hope beginning of the next episode I'll have bed and all this moved so we don't have to hang out in this hole anymore. But I've expanded upstairs. I made it all the way down to level 12. And look at this. Oreberry bushes are completely matured. So, made a good bit of progress. First, I'm going to go upstairs and show you what I did. I enclosed the workstation. Used chisel to make the blocks in the glass kind of fancy. I increased the smeltery by 2 levels, so now it holds 27 items. I went ahead and made 3 drains, 3 faucets. Did get 2 buckets of lava because I did make it down to level 12. And one of the things I'm going to start with now is I made a portable tank, which is from thermal expansion, which is just glass surrounded by 1 copper ingot, which is helpful, and a crescent hammer. This will allow me to fill this portable tank up with 8 buckets of lava and be able to take it with me without losing the lava. So I'm going to go down to level 12 and show you. Found another, a couple more tunnels and things full of more resources, and I harvested everything as I dug down, but I will have to go down and do some more spelunking and gather all the rest of the materials in these mine shafts. But let's see, I made it all the way down. Did have to make 1 iron pickaxe to harvest some of the higher level stuff, but yeah, I found lava. There's a small pit here, that's where I got my 2 buckets, and there's another one over there. Hello, Mr. Bat. So I'm going to plonk down my portable tank. I'm only going to need 1 bucket. Bucket. Oh, it's going to do that to me every time, isn't it? Bucket. 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 So let's see, it's up to 6,000, so 2 more buckets. And this portable tank will be full. And then I can take the crescent hammer, I can shift, right click, I pick it up, and all of the lava is still inside the tank. That way I don't have to just carry up buckets at a time, I can carry 8 buckets at once with the tank. So I'm going to take this upstairs, back to the smeltery so I can fill the, oops, was that diorite? Anyways, so I can fill up the tank up there in the smeltery to fuel it, and we'll start doubling some ores. Found a bunch of other ores down there. I found silver, lead, more copper. I found, oh lord, I don't know, a ton. So plop that down. Oops. Keep taking lava out. So there you go. So it's 30. It has to take 1 bucket at a time. So put that bucket back in there. So that is basically full. You can see I've got all these slots now. It shows you the fuel level that we're working at, and all of the ores in here. So we're gonna double some ores because the next thing I want to make is some casts to work on this casting table. Now let's grab. I think this is the one that has the alloys in it. Nope, it's the one that has the modifiers in it. So it must be this one. Yes, alloys. That's what we're looking for. So. Oops, I went right by it. So aluminum brass, this is what we want to use in place of gold. There's only 2 metals you can use to make casts for tools and weapons, and one's gold, which is a finite resource, so we want to not use that if we don't have to. Another one's aluminum brass, and you see here it's an alloy, so it takes 3 aluminum per 1 copper to make aluminum brass. So that's my first goal here, is to make some aluminum brass so we can make some casts, and I'll show you how that works. So I need, where's my aluminum? Aluminum. I know I had aluminum. Did I not bring it upstairs? I bet I did. I bet we'll find some downstairs. Let's look. Thought I got everything. Clearly I did not. Oh, look at that. Jeez. Sad day. Okay, so it's a 3-to-1 ratio. Since I don't have a way to get a ingot cast yet, I'm going to keep everything in 3. So I have 9 aluminum, and I'll need 3 copper. 1, 2, 3 copper ore. And this will be doubled. So we'll plonk the 9 aluminum and 3 copper. Actually, I'll show you. We'll give it a second. So you can see this, these progress bars here show you how fast it's melting. And then the copper. So one of the problems you can have with the smelter is if you don't want to make alloys, it'll automatically make an alloy if you have the correct proportions to make one in the smeltery. So it's best to try to keep this thing as empty as possible. So there's the aluminum. It's just aluminum now, but as soon as these 3 copper ores will smelt, you should see it automatically become aluminum brass. In a little second, it seems to be going super slow for some reason. I don't know why. Let's see. Wait for it. Wait for it. Ah, look at that. It becomes aluminum brass. So we now have aluminum brass. It's 3,456 microbuckets. So it's just over 3 buckets. It's interesting. Okay, so we're going to make some casts with this fluid, with this liquid now. Oh, yeah, move the tables over. So, the pickaxe head. Whoops, I did it backwards. So, what we want to do is we want to take this stone pickaxe head. Now, rather than making a tool with it, oh, and while I'm here, I'll show you the stony pick. See how it says broken under there? This is how I can repair it. Oh, wait, no, I have to do it in the builder, don't I? Alright, I'll show you really quick. So, tool station. Put the tool in here, and whatever material the head's made out of, put it in here. You see it becomes stone bound again. Here it's broken. Boom. Repair, repair, repair. So it's back to new again. But we're going to upgrade big time with these. So, to make a cast, you put a stone version of whatever head you want on it, and you pour the cast out. And what will happen is that this will set. Boom. So you see how there's an opening there where that stone piece used to be? What happens is, if there's another alloy in here, I don't want to make one out of aluminum brass. Let's say there's iron or alumite or gold, steel, or whatever alloy we may use. You pour it into this cast, and it'll make the shape of the pickaxe head and whatever material it is you want to make it out of. So there you go, pickaxe head cast. Now what we need to do is make some more. All right, 5 left in here. The other tool that I really want to make, because it's really good for early game when it comes to strip mining, is a hammer. Now I can't make a hammer yet, but I can make the components. So I know I need a hammerhead pattern. Put that. I know I need a large plate. And I know I need a tough tool rod. So while we're at it, I'll go ahead and make a tough tool binding. And we'll leave it at that for now. So I'll put these in here. And I'm going to make a hammerhead. Now, you see here it says material cost 8. So when I do this, boom, there's only 2 cobble left. So I'm going to put... I'm going to make a cast of this hammerhead so I can make a hammer bigger. I'm going to do the same thing. I didn't take it out today. I need more cobblestone. Cobble in there. I'm going to make a large plate cast as well. Plunk that in there. This one always looks kind of weird because you're thinking, where's all the casting going on? Oh, did I? No, I didn't. Oh, it's in there. See, it didn't show. Sometimes it does that with this large plate. It takes up the whole area. It's very strange. So I have 3 casts, so I can use any metal I want to make that shape, to create tools. Now the only, let's see, yeah, I don't have any obsidian. In order to make one of the other alloys, I need the alumite, which I really like. I need obsidian. So let's go back over here and look at the rest of the alloys. Alumite, so it's aluminum, iron, and obsidian. So I've got plenty of iron. Don't have obsidian because I haven't found diamonds yet. And I'll need more aluminum because I just took all the aluminum I did have and turned it into aluminum brass to make casts. So I'll probably just make this put that book away. So what I might do is make an iron pickaxe. Let's see. I can double this. Oh, you know what I need to do first? Here. I did mention how with these casting basins, the only way to empty it out is to make it a whole entire block of it, which means you have to dump 9 of it. But if you want to pull just ingot values out, I'll drop 1 iron ingot in there and make a cast for 1 ingot, so I can get not only 9 at a time, but single ingots, so I can drain the smeltery completely. There you go. There's what would be the most common use. So let's see, 2,888 millivolts. Not sure how much that equates to in ingots, if I'm honest. For now, I'm going to go ahead and make more cast items. So take a pause here for a second, and when I come back, I'll have more casts made, and we'll work on making at least an iron pickaxe head, so I can harvest everything down below. I'll go back down and strip mine some more, so I'll be back in a little bit. Hold on. Welcome back, everyone. So I went downstairs, did a bunch of mining. I also gathered some more materials that I'll need to make some special special tool parts for these Tinker's constructs. And oh, get in the door, jeez Louise. So one of the things I had to go find was, oh, it's dark, I need to sleep at some point, or slime islands. You'll see this here and this here, these globs. They're actually way up in the sky, so I had to nerd pull all the way up to get to it, and harvested a couple of slimy saplings. There are these slime trees that only grow on those islands, and when you harvest them, you get 2 things from them. You get, I'll show you. Well, I don't have many. Oh, they're probably in the chest. You get gelatinous slime, which is basically blue slime, we'll call it, which you get from the leaves, and then you'll get regular slime balls out of the trunks. They're like big chunks of slime balls. When you harvest them, you get both those things. And the reason you want them is because these gelatinous blue slimes you can turn into slime crystals. And the way you do that is, I need to get out of is through any eye. You make slimy mud, which is 4 of those gelatinous slime balls plus 1 dirt and plus sand. It becomes slimy mud. And then all you have to do is put that in a furnace. Here you go. And it makes a slime crystal. And this slime crystal can be used to make parts for, like, for instance, a tool rod pattern or a tough tool rod pattern. So, for instance, if you're going to make a tough tool rod, you'll need 3 of these. 2's not enough. 3's enough. And the reason that this blue slime is so good for handles is, well, we'll go look at the book. I'll show you under materials and modifiers in this materials in part 2. And we'll go to materials. I went too far. Oh, there's the recipe I just showed you. Blue slime. The reason it's so fantastic, and it's better than green slime, the durability on its own is 1200. The full tool durability is twice as much, 2400. And the handle modifier is 2 times, which is the best handle modifier you can get, if I can only talk straight today. Blah, blah, blah. So I want that blue slime crystals, and honestly, you can usually find those slime islands. They usually populate all over the place. And I made my alumite. Remember the reason I went down before was to get more aluminum, some obsidian, and more iron. Well, I found plenty of iron. Of course, I've been having iron coming out my wazoo. I was able to harvest some obsidian. I had a couple diamonds I found and made a diamond pickaxe out of it, which I feels like kind of wasteful because I can't use that diamond pickaxe really for anything else. And once I make this tool, I'm not going to need it anymore. So my molten alumite, which, if we go to the black book, Mighty Smelting, shows us the alloy list. And under the alloy list, it's 5 aluminum, 2 iron, 2 obsidian. So I doubled that. I put 10 aluminum in. I put 4 iron and 4 obsidian, and it made, I think it's, what does it say, 12 ingots? How much do I have in here? Yeah, 12 ingots worth. And that'll be enough for me to make a, should be enough for me to make a hammer and a pickaxe. And I want to make a broad axe. I made a cast for it, I think, yeah. But let's see, material cost is 8, 8, plus 1, so that would be 17. But so I don't have 17 ingots of fluid, so I can only do 2 of them. I'll have enough to do 8 and 9. So yeah, I'll have enough alamite to make one hammerhead out of alamite and one pickaxe, which is what I'm going to do. So, like I said before, with making the casts, you saw me make the pickaxe head. So what you'll do now, drop the cast back in the casting table. And there's my alamite, liquefied and ready to go. And I just pour it in here. And let it set, and boom! I now have an alamite pickaxe set. So it's the instant upgrade. You see it has the all the relevant numbers there. Durability 700. Mining level, which is the big thing, is cobalt. That's why I want it, because it'll mine anything in the world or the overworld. It'll even mine both of the nether ores that are in this mod called cobalt and ardite, which is why it says level cobalt. And mining speed's 8, which isn't the best, but it's pretty good. And then the next one I'm going to do is I'm going to make a hammer. And the hammer is such a time saver when it comes to strip mining. It's a no-brainer. As soon as you have the ability to make a decent one, I'd make one. I mean, you could make an iron one early on. I just get really tired of having to repair these things all the time. So I wait until I have a high durability, till I have these... till I have the slime to make the handle high durability, and this on its own has high durability of 700, as you see. Now the other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the binding for the pickaxe out of paper. And the reason you do that, and I'll go back to materials to show you this, because you're thinking to yourself, why paper? That's so weird. And I don't remember if I mentioned in an earlier video or not. But the reason you want it out of paper is because it has a unique trait, meaning writable, meaning automatically off the bat, just by making one of the parts out of paper, you instantly get one additional modifier slot, which is really helpful. And since the binding doesn't affect the durability all that much anyways, because it's a small component, and it doesn't give you any special traits on its own, like stone bound and all that stuff, which you could use for it. It's just paper seems to be the best bet. I know it sounds really strange, but trust me on this one, it's going to work just fine. So let's see. First, I'll make the pickaxe. So I need just a small tool binding, and I'll put a stack of paper in there, and it'll make me 1 binding and give me 2 paper left over. And you make a paper stack by putting 4 of these in a corner of a normal crafting table. The other thing I'm going to need is just like before, I'll only need 1 of these crystals, and I'll actually get a slimy shard left over. How cute. So let's assemble this thing. So I want to make another pickaxe. This time it's going to be, boom, alamite pickaxe. I need the slime tool rod I made and the paper binding. And we'll shift. And look at those numbers. The durability is 1400. The stone and the iron one I made were a fraction of that amount. Effective durability is 1750. Mining level, cobalt, and mining level 8. Because I used paper as a binding, the modifiers remaining are 4. By itself, if it didn't have paper as one of the materials we made out of it, it would only have 3. So I instantly off the bat have a tool that I could add 4 modifiers to if I have the materials by which to do it. And we'll call this a pinky pick. Pinky pick for all you bronies out there like me. Okay, pinky pick. There we go. Now the hammer. Oh, that's right. You know what I haven't done yet, people? I haven't made a tool forge. I mentioned there was another table in this row that you need to make the higher tier weapons. That's beyond the tool station, and that is the tool forge. So let's look. I know it takes a whole lot of... There you go. You can make them in different colors. Look at that. So it's, yeah, 4 iron blocks. So it's really, it gets pretty expensive, but as much as iron as I have, this shouldn't be a huge problem. Especially now since I can double my output. So I'll need a regular tool station plus 4 blocks. So let's make 4 blocks of iron. Now I've already made, what do I got left here? 3 ingots. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the rest of this alamite out. Now there's no chance that I can mix this alamite with anything else to make another alloy I don't want, because it's already a finished alloy. But still, I like, it's force of habit, I guess. I always like to empty the smeltery before I start a new project, because if you start just throwing stuff in there on its own, you'll just get some crazy alloys that you may not think of from other mods beyond Tinker's Construct, and that's just, well, that's just fun. So I will need 18 of these. The reason I need 18 is because I need 4 blocks, which would equal 36 ingots. But since I double it in the smeltery, these 18 will become 36 when I'm done. Now I'm going to go downstairs and get some seared bricks, because it looked like the top of the tool forge was all seared bricks. I think I put first. Oh, wait, yep. So I'll need like 12 of these, because it needed 3 seared bricks. Right, yeah. And then I still need to make, what was the other thing I needed? Oh yeah, so I just need to make another, let's see, I'll need one more pattern. Boom. And I'll need to make another crafting table to make a tool station. So we'll take this upstairs, and we'll make this into a tool forge as soon as that iron's done melting. Which it already is. So if I did my math right, I should have 36 ingots. So there you go. That's enough for 4 blocks of iron. I'll go ahead and get this pouring while I start the recipe in here. So 3 on top, tool station in the middle, and then I'll put the iron blocks here and here on either side. If you've ever used NEI before, if you look up the recipe, there's the question mark here. If you hit the question mark, it'll show you the pattern of the recipe on the prep tip. So all I have to do is fill the slots up. So it had it in there. I backed out, but I just need the 4 blocks of iron. So let's pour the last 2 out. I think that's a cool animation the way it looks. Come on. Come on. Pour, pour. So if I did my math right, it should be empty. Excuse me. And look, it's empty. Yay. It's cooled off. And we'll put 2 here, 2 there. And I have a tool forge. So we'll plonk this down. Boom, right here at the end. So in here you see there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 13, 14. So 15 tools you can make out of this one. With the tool forge, however, you can make all those plus some. You can make the shurikens now. You can make multiple variants of swords. You can make the crossbow now. You can make bolts for the crossbow. And most importantly, you can make the hammer and the lumber axe, which is now I'm gonna have to make some more alumite to make the lumber axe happen. But I want to build a hammer, so I already have the hammer head piece. So I need 2 large plates and a tough tool rod. So let's go back here to the tool part. Tough tool rod pattern, which requires, if I'm right, 3. Oh, whoops. How come that's not working? Tough tool rod pattern. Do I have to? Oh, it did work. What's wrong with me? Okay, and the other thing I need is the large plate. Now I'm going to go ahead and make one of these large plates out of paper to give it an instant modifier. But the other large plate I'm going to make out of obsidian. And the reason I want to do this is because we'll go back to this book about modifiers. If you add an obsidian plate to any weapon after the fact, or you create the weapon or tool with a plate, you will get the the reinforced trait. Adds the material trait reinforced to the tool, stacks with previous levels of reinforce. So it just makes it even considerably more durable. It adds those modifiers and those stacks of durability levels on top of it even more and more. So, yeah. So what I'm going to do is, I think 4, it's 8. So this is going to take a little bit to melt. But then I'll be able to pour out obsidian into a large plate, like so. I don't need this anymore. And once it's all melted, I'll be able to pour that out, and I'll be able to make the hammer. So I'll have the paper plate. It's way better than a normal paper plate. And then all I need to do is add the obsidian plate, which I'm making now, and it'll make me a huge, awesome hammer. And you see here under natural abilities, it says area of effect. What that means is, rather than a pickaxe, which of course only mines 1 block at a time, this mines a 3x3 square section of blocks. So it, multiplies your efficiency by 9, just the fact that it can mine 9 blocks at the same time it mines 1. It can take a little bit longer depending on what material it is you're mining, but because it's alumite, it's able of mining all the way up to cobalt, which is why we wanted the alumite to begin with. It's like in my opinion, it's the early game best alloy to make anything out of. So that's why I like to use it. Let's see. Here we go, 8. So this should be exactly enough for the plate. This is such a cool color. I think my favorite color in the world is purple, and that's just the coolest thing right there for me. But okay, so hammer. We'll add the obsidian head to it. So you see, it's got 3 traits to it already. It's got slimy because of the handle, writable because of the paper, and reinforced 3. So it's reinforced because it's already made from alumite, and I believe the slime itself, tool rod, has a reinforced level to it. So that plus the obsidian plate gives it a reinforced level of 3. So let's look at these. The effective durability is 7,020, which is just ridiculous. Now, it is a little bit slow. You see the mining speed's only 2.26, and that's because we use paper, so it does bring down the mining speed of it a little bit. Well, we can fix that with modifiers, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And it has the smite ability. Where does it say that? Because it says bonus versus undead is 2 to 4.5 hearts. On its own, it only has attack damage of +3, but against skeletons or a zombie, it does even more damage. So it's not just a mining weapon or a mining tool; it's also a weapon. So we'll make this the Pinky Smasher. Anyone out there ever hit their pinky? Yay! Pro Tinker, look at me. Oh, fireworks going off inside the barn. Love it. I haven't seen one of those in a little bit. So we'll put that back in there. And look at that. So I have some top of the line pickaxe and hammers. Now, we'll go through some of the other modifiers here because it'll make them just elite level stuff once we're done with it. Go back to the book and I'll show you. Now, one modifier that's really, really, really helpful is a ball of moss. And why it equates to this, I don't know why, but a ball of moss gives you, and I'll find it here somewhere, it gives you the auto repair trait, meaning that the tool slowly repairs itself and sunlight speeds its process up. So if you're outside, you just leave the tool in your hotbar. You don't necessarily have to be using it. It'll automatically heal and repair the tool so you don't have to use materials to heal it. So that's why when I make my tools, I like high durability and auto repair, because in the end you end up never using your tools all the time. So when I'm not using it, sitting there, and even though it's slow, I'm taking enough breaks between using those tools that it'll repair itself. And the way you get a ball of moss, I thought it showed us here. Oh, there we go. Is you need 9 mossy stone, which I have because there's actually some in the river over here. You see these little specks of in the real world generation alpha, or real world, world generation alpha. These little flecks here are actually blocks of mossy stone. So you don't have to necessarily find just a dungeon or a monster spawner to get mossy stone anymore. This stuff will spawn within the world. So I grabbed some from downstairs, and we'll go ahead and make a couple balls of moss. So I got 3 balls of moss. So first thing I want to do is add that to my hammer and to my pickaxe. So you see the handle goes from blue to green because I've added the auto repair, and you see before it doesn't have that effect, but on the right after I added it, it has the auto repair in green. So boom, add that to this one. I'm going to add it to my pickaxe too. Ball of moss. See the handle changed again? Boom. Oh, sweet. So now I, in theory, shouldn't really have to worry about repairing these tools. They will repair themselves over time, as long as I'm not using them, constantly, which I don't foresee being a problem. And the other modifiers I can add to it is I've got some diamonds. Now, I should be able to find more diamonds later, so I'm just going to use the 2 that I have now for these tools. What this is going to do is add 500 durability to these tools just by itself. So beforehand the durability is 720. Now it's 7735. So it actually because of the modifiers on the handles and everything else, it goes over a little more than 500. So now this thing's even more durable, which means it's less likely that I'm going to have to repair it later. Also, if it didn't already have mining level cobalt, this would increase it to what level? To obsidian level. So just the tier below it. So you could theoretically take like an iron pickaxe like the one I made here, which has way less durability, which is only mining level redstone. But if I slapped a diamond on there, it would make it obsidian level. So that's helpful. If you can't find enough aluminum or whatever to make alemite, you can use it to make your lesser tools a higher mining level. So yeah, I'm really happy with the way this is turning out. I love my barn. Eventually, we're going to move into thermal foundation and mechanism, which is getting into some really, really techie stuff. All this here is actually what I consider early game stuff because it doesn't require any power to make it work. The only thing it needs is lava, which is fairly readily available. Sometimes it spawns on the surface, but you dig down to the earth, you're going to find some lava. And it's the only thing that powers it. It doesn't require any electricity or power at all. But the machines and mechanism and in thermal foundation and thermal expansion require power, which means I have to make a generator of some kind. I have to find a way to generate power. And my end game is going to be to make what's called a magmatic engine. We'll look that up. Magmatic dynamo, excuse me. Shift for details. It says generates energy, requires hot fluids, and what that basically means is that if we pump lava into these magmatic dynamos, it'll generate power for us. It's much more efficient than like coal generators and things like that, or furnace generators, which are fine. I could use a furnace generator if I wanted to, but I really don't think it is nearly as efficient as I may end up having to make a furnace generator or just a coal generator early on just to maybe get it started, just to generate some power. But my end game is to get a pump. I'm going to try to pump lava either from down below or if I end up going to the nether, from the nether. But it'll be a lot easier to pump it from down below, and I'll be able to power most of these machines with my magmatic dynamo. And we'll go over the machines I'm going to make in the next episode. We're going to start with a pulverizer and a redstone furnace, it's another way to double ores. Rather than having to wait for it to melt down and pour it out, what it does is that the pulverizer takes the ore, it crushes it into dust, and it doubles the output. So one ore becomes 2 dust, and each dust becomes 1 ingot. And it happens, faster than the smeltery does. But I always want to start with the smeltery first because it gives me the ability to make these really powerful tools pretty early on with no power required whatsoever. So, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any other suggestions, comments, let me know. You see my farm down there, which I'll expand eventually when I get to the point where I can get magical crops going. I'll have automated farms and other various things. So, look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks a lot. See ya.